Hello everyone, welcome to Club Deck Corner here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. This week, Fraserburgh, Fernandez and Man United. I am Scott Carney and joining me tonight is Ali Pearson first of all. Hello Alistair, how are you?
Yes, very well. We were talking off camera about young Ross's video that he released this week, which was very, very good, by the way. I know we talked off camera, but hats off to Ross for that. That editing. I mean, Carney, I'm a dinosaur with stuff like that. I wouldn't have a Scooby what to do. But I thought it was really well done. My girlfriend even sat down and watched a show. I told her about it, and she sat down and watched it, and she went, "That's very, very well done." And she said you were very likeable, Ross, as well too, which was a positive too in terms of people wanting to watch it. But
it makes one of us on the podcast, mate, doesn't it? If one
I
of us is
know,
likeable, then we'll get somewhere.
But no, hats off to you. I think you're like I know you watch Simon Wilson on YouTube. I watch a lot of his stuff, so I can see where you've got it. But you're like a young Simon Wilson. You can do half of what he's done, then you'll probably be leaving this podcast because he is loaded.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. And yes, the superstar, the myth, the legend, Ross, as I say, I'm delighted with how your videos perform, mate. I'd imagine most people tuning in now have probably had a chance to check it out. It's top class, mate. It really is brilliant, and I'm delighted for how the video's performance, mate, and the widespread kind of accolade it has brought upon itself. But Ross, how are you? Can your head still fit through your bedroom door, mate, to come in and do this podcast?
It's just about. I had to walk through sideways. to fit it in. The response, just quickly, the response has been unbelievable. I can't thank everyone enough. Obviously, we're here to talk about the football. I do apologise, but just quickly, thank you so much to everybody. It's been, absolutely bonkers. We ended up even Michael Beale has seen the video. Michael Beale has shared the video. It's no words. So yeah. Again, podcast before everything. We're here, and what a week we have to talk about. So yeah, let's get straight into it.
It's all right, mate. You can enjoy it, and honestly enjoy it, mate, because you thoroughly deserve it, mate. You genuinely do. I was just delighted to see it happening for you, mate. And I think Grado as well shared it. I think. That's mental, mate. They've never even shared my podcast. They're sharing your video.
I've told Grado as well. I met Grado in what do you call it? What's that piano bar in Glasgow called? It Blue Dog. I met him absolutely leathered in Blue Dog one night, and I was trying to tell him about the podcast that night.
Brilliant, yes, brilliant. I'm glad that's probably why he's not checked us out, mate, I suppose.
Probably.
Probably. But yeah, no, delighted for you, mate. But yes, we are here to talk about Rangers. Get into things. Obviously, we've got quite a small matter of a trip to Old Trafford on Thursday evening to look forward to. But we'll start off with the win against Fraserburgh. Ali, I said on my post-match, Rangers obviously winning 5-0. You're never going to learn a great deal about the current first team against that level of opposition. No disrespect to Fraserburgh, but it's just the nature of the game. You're not going to learn a great deal about the team. So we'll more kind of speak about probably the prospects. I think we would have liked to see a lot more from the start. I think everybody was pretty much along the same lines. It would have been nice to see the likes of Rice, the likes of probably Curtis get a go from the start. But what were your main takeaways from the game on Sunday?
It was. I know at half time we had a wee mump and moan between us all in the concourse, but reflecting on it, it was a no-win for Rangers because they're playing Fraserburgh. Folk are expecting them to batter Fraserburgh because they were only 1-0 up in the first half. I think it wasn't great, let's be honest about it. But overall, the second half they scored 4 goals, could have scored more. It was 5-0 on paper. It's a cup game. You take that and move on. You won't remember that game if Rangers go in and win the cup. But yeah, so second half the players cut. I like the look of him. He looks really bright. Young Bailey Rice was good to see him. I agree. I would have rather liked to see them at the beginning of the game, but they come on and showed a good account of themselves. A couple of players for me probably didn't show up because they had an opportunity. We'll probably make on a few of them, but overall for me, it was a no-win for Rangers, and ultimately it's a cup game. You just need to get through the round, and they get through it extremely comfortably. They had one bomb scare moment, Rangers, and that was it in the game. So it was very, very routine for Rangers. And
Yeah,
hats off for Fraserburgh fans. Sorry, hats off for the Fraserburgh fans that travelled all down to Ibrox. That's the biggest away support I think I've seen this season, potentially. But yeah, they had a good day out by all accounts, and Rangers treated them well. So I think it was what it was.
Yeah, a few lads in the Fraserburgh team dreams came true for them that day. They managed to play a game of football at Ibrox, and I'm not being coy about that. That's true. There's Rangers fans within Fraserburgh's football team that was been well covered, and yeah, it was a great experience for them. And I agree to an extent that it was damned if you do, damned if you don't with Rangers on Sunday, because you are expecting Rangers to win very comfortably. I think there was a stat or a tweet flitting about that the B team had actually won 5-0 against them earlier on this season, so you are expecting quite a substantial win. Ross, I think it was a training session really in the first half, and I think I was critical in the first half because the level was never going to be sky high. Rangers were never going to be their all-time flying best, and the whole situation surrounding the game, who you're playing, the opposition, etc., etc. But I just felt that the levels dipped below where they should have. It was kind of unacceptable how bad that they got in that first half, and it's just my personal opinion, but I didn't enjoy much of the first half at all. But obviously, coming on to the second half, we see a lot of naturally the professional team is going to become fitter. They are fitter. They're going to have more legs than Fraserburgh. And eventually, Rangers were very, very comfortable with a lot of youth getting a chance. But what was your take on the game overall, mate? Before I probably single out a couple of players.
Yeah, I think it is very much game's done, next round sort of thing. It's you could win 3-0, you could win 9-0. It's always going to be it's only against Fraserburgh. So 5's roughly about in the middle. I'm completely on the side of you, mate. First half at times was brutal. It was brutal, let's be fair. I mean, you could also look at it on the other hand. If Dessers scores that chance, maybe 30 seconds in, is it a day where you're looking at 8 or 9? Who knows? But that's emerging football. Fair play to Fraserburgh. The manager came out. He spoke very, very highly of Rangers. Those are lads who are training twice a week. They obviously have jobs outside, so fair play to them in that point of view. But at the end of the day, you have to look at it with a Rangers hat on and say that first half you should be going in 2 or 3, and I hope that's not asking for too much. But yeah, there was some positive sparks in terms of performances. Again, who would have thought the youth proving to come up trumps again. So yeah, all in all, it was a 5-0 Ibrox on to the next round. And yeah, that's kind of all from me really, unfortunately. Not any news breaking information.
No, it can't be, mate. That's the thing, though. It can't be, and I wouldn't expect it to be. Nobody would expect it to be. It was what it was, really, and Rangers were very comfortable winners. Ali, there's a few, and I'm going to include Nsiala in the youth, if you like, because he's very much came from that. He's kind of stepped forward. Again, yes, caveat it with I know who we're playing against, but again, his distribution of the ball was really good. He was comfortable on the ball. I know they were not really any threat. We've yet to see him, I would say, properly tested. Thursday night might be the chance for, I don't know if he's in the European squad actually. Does he need to be? I don't understand the rules, but I'm not sure if he can or can't. He can't play, can he?
I'm not sure. Does he tick the youth quota or something?
I don't know. Sure. I don't know. Ross can do homework while we're having a chat. But NCL included that. But see, players like Bailey Rice, and I said his name right, not Declan Rice, Bailey Rice.
Rice.
I keep saying Declan Rice, man. Bailey Rice and Lovelace, they three especially. I think they all look ready, mate. I think Curtis looks slightly lightweight in the same way that I feel McCausland is, in the nicest possible way. Don't get me wrong, if you can score goals, you can score goals, then by all means, if it works, it works. But you know where I'm coming from, that the physicality of him isn't quite there. Lovelace is built like beside a house. Nsiala is the same. Rice looks, if not bigger than what Diomande is. These three guys, they should be continued to be involved with the first team. We've seen a lot of promise from Lovelace before he went out and got injured, but they three for me, and Curtis when they come on, don't get me wrong, I think he took up really good positions, looked very promising on the ball and wanted to take shots on any time that he could, which was brilliant to see. But Lovelace, Rice and Nsiala for me, these guys need to continue to be involved in the first team, considering where we are domestically just now.
Yeah, well, domestically, as we know, the league's gone. Obviously, we don't want to treat them as friendlies or anything going forward. We want to go and win as many games as possible. So you'll need to play a strong team, but still, these boys can get a chance in these games when you're playing, especially at Ibrox. I mean, our record at Ibrox is nearly faultless. So you'd like to think these guys can play at most games at Ibrox against your St Johnstone's, your St Mirren's, teams like that. They should be able to play. NCL has showed for me that he can. I think he looks he's very good in the ball, very assured on the ball. Good goal as well. Yeah, he'll be raw at times, but he's only played 4 competitive games, whatever it is now, in the trot. Lovelace, he looked twice the size from what he was when I seen him last season. I was looking at size him going, see doing what Man's doing, because he was some size. Again, I'd like to see him again, because he was a guy we picked up from, was it Watford or something? And he was 16, 17, something like that. And he was a big prospect down there, and we managed to get him. Unfortunately, he's been injured, but give the boy a chance. And Bailey Rice, we've seen before. It's not as if we've not seen Bailey Rice. Obviously, his debut against Livingston 2 years ago, I thought he looked good in the ball. I thought he looked very assured too. And young Finlay Curtis. So, yeah, I'd be using the games at Ibrox, especially in the league going forward, to bleed these guys into the team. And obviously, who we've drawn in the cup in the next round as well. You'd like to think they'll get a chance in that game as well.
The next round is Queen's Park, and they're about the championship. Is that right?
Championship.
Yeah. So yeah, that and the ties are the 8th and 9th of March, February, 8th and 9th of February, 8th and 9th of February.
Not confirmed yet, but yeah.
No, not confirmed what time it will be. Likely be Premier Sports though, but yeah, it'll be the 8th or 9th, and it's at
It'll be Sunday, guaranteed.
Ibrox again, so there you go, Mr. Rangers have more of my money.
I think it's Saturday actually. I think it's Saturday 8th, so it might be
confirmed. Has it been confirmed?
I think the time's not been confirmed, but I think the club said Saturday 8th. So Ali, you might get your
5:15
on a Saturday. Oh, nah, you know, actually, no, yeah, you're spot on actually. Yeah,
5:15 on a Saturday, guaranteed. That's what it'll be. Yeah, absolutely no doubt about it. And my wee one will be here by that point, so I'm not even sure if I'll be there. But yes, but I say Queen's Park, you would like to think we'll see more of a run out from the youth as well. Ross, as well, what I think is, look, it's important for us to remember that we are a club that's a selling club. But if you can get as much of the youth players into your first team, into the public eye, if you like, the more readily available for us for Rangers games. I think obviously the weekend was on the BBC, so it's much easier to get a hold of instead of people trying to source with the B teams games on, for example. But you get these guys in, they make a bit of impression. Okay, some you'll probably let slip through the net in terms of they'll probably go for less than maybe what they're worth further on down the line, but that's not really going to matter if you're getting a £4 million offer for a 20-year-old, 19-year-old, 18-year-old that's ready, that's cost you not a great deal. Everything that comes through academy is pretty much profit really at the end of the day of it, if we manage to sell one for a decent fee. So as part of the whole philosophy of the football club, then playing these players, and regardless what happens with the B team, I know there's obviously, it's a bit up in the air just now, but regardless of that, we still have a squad of B team players, youth players, that we're going to have to do something with, regardless of what happens to the B team. So give these guys a chance, because it's very rare that they disappoint, because everybody's wanting that bit of freshness, everybody's wanting to see it, and people will be patient with it. I really do believe that they will be during the domestic games anyway. So it's imperative for the club really to give these youth boys as much of a chance as possible. And we've been screaming for that for years.
We have, absolute years we have, mate. I think definitely it's right to look at it as a potential cash cow, if you will. You know, looking at these young lads, I also wonder, can we look at them as potential squad players one day? Like, can they make an impact for us as Rangers? Like, but again, it takes you need to play them first to figure it out. I do think Lovelace he's one for me who do feel Curtis as well, but I think there's a bit of something about Lovelace, and I think if we can try and get him as much minutes as possible, especially if there's one Mr. Number 9 potentially out the door, that could then make room for a Lovelace. He played that Niggerman at the weekend, that's getting them mixed up. But yeah, there's listen, the youth system does, a bit of, no longer a B team. We need to get these boys either out on loan or playing football. If they can do it for us for a season, brilliant. If they can do it somewhere else, don't get me wrong, that's brilliant. But if they can impact us as a team just now, especially with my injury riddled, then the more the merrier. The more the merrier. So yeah, more of that, please, Mr. Rangers. That'd be lovely.
I agree. I think we should be looking to use as many of the youth prospects as squad players as we can. If they are good enough, then move them up. Kieran Dow's the perfect example of that. We went and signed him, and I'm not just bashing him, but we went and signed him to be a squad player when he probably wasn't necessary. It probably wasn't required. He's on a much more substantial wage than any of the youth guys would, so I think it's an avenue that Rangers really need to properly do the homework on and start getting it correct, because a lot of money goes into it and we see very little reward. But you guys that we are seeing, everybody, they're on the lips of every fan in terms of Lovelace, Rice, Curtis, Enciala, all these guys. I know we bought Enciala in, but all these guys, the fans get excited about them because we're desperate to see something new. We're desperate to see something fresh. So yeah, it's definitely something the club should look into. But yeah, look, comfortable 5-0 win. Never going to learn a great deal from it. And I say we're on to play Queen's Park in the next round, which will be on the 8th or 9th or 8th of February, as Ross has just said. Rangers also announced a signing on Saturday with Rafael Fernandes signing on loan from Lille, with an option to buy. Alistair, left field signing for me. Know very little about the guy. I know he's been injured for a while, so that stirred a bit of rumour around Rangers Twitter regarding whether he's going to be injured. Interesting that it's an option to buy for me. Look, he looks like a big player. He looks quite physical. Everything that I've seen kind of mixed reviews on whether he's good with the ball at his feet and he's not good with the ball at his feet, or he's good in the air and he's not good in the air. Going to need to wait and see and give the guy a chance, and hopefully we see him sooner rather than later. But any thoughts on that particular signing?
I'll be honest, I never heard of him when he arrived. Came out the blue, looking at him, 6'3", which I want at centre half. He's not played much football. Looking at it, I know
he's not got like a massive career to go back and like dig deep in him or nothing like that.
I think he's got like 13, 14 games. He's went to Lille, I think, like you were saying, and played in their second team and had a few games. He's played Portuguese under 18, under 20s, I think. Again, a few games as well. Don't know much about him. Apparently he's been injured as well, which ticks the box for us signing players as well. I don't know. I just hope he's not one of these players with signing loan carney, like I'm going to use Aaron Ramsey as an example. A guy who's not played football and we don't see him for months really, or he's drip fed a wee bit. I hope he comes in.
I think he's going to be drip fed. That is what Clement does. I'll be shocked if he's through into the lines then on Sunday. Like, I would be shocked.
Well, if he's fit, well, I don't know if he is fit, but if he's fit, he should be playing for Rangers, especially with our back line at the moment. So I'd like to see him in the team and see what he's got, because we've obviously got an option to buy in this boy. Decent age, decent profile. But until we see him in a football park, we'll never know. You know, us as Rangers fans, we love to judge a guy after 5 minutes if he's a donkey or not. So, so I'm sure I'll judge him instantly. But I'd like to see him in the park, because the back line's is crying out for somebody. I know Enciala's coming and done quite well there, but Balogun can't do 2 games in a trot at the moment. So we really need somebody to come in. So I'd like to think he can come in and potentially play. I know we're away on Sunday to Dundee United, but if he can't play against Dundee United,
he won't play. I'm telling you, he wouldn't play that game. He's not going to play that game. I'd be shocked. I don't know. I don't know when he'll play, but I don't see him playing that game. I really don't. I would earmark his debut to be against Queen's Park at Ibrox, mate. That's probably what it will be. But no, I don't think. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Clement's going to prove me wrong, but I don't have the confidence that we'll see him anytime soon. Ross, interesting. I think that it's an option to buy included in it as well. I think this just reconfirms that the board are very much sticking with Clement just now. To me, the business that we've done there is. Obviously, I get that Niles Coppin is the guy that goes and picks up the players and says, this is who we've got, this is yada yada. And maybe it was the only way Rangers could get it if there was an option to buy included. But usually the option to buy is put there by the buying club, not by the selling club, because the selling club obviously want an obligation to buy if they've got no interest in keeping said player. So an interesting one for me. You get any thoughts on this signing? As I say, it's difficult to judge because there's not a lot of history with them, if that makes sense.
It is very difficult to judge. I mean, first of all, it's a very exciting name. You hear
very exciting name. It is.
Portuguese Fernandes. I'm gonna get my Manchester United digs in. He's the best Portuguese Fernandes in the world. Right, you've heard it here first. He's gonna be him. So he's not played. I was kind of looking at his history. His last professional game was the 28th of January last year. The top flight of Portuguese football. They won 5-0 in the end. But yeah, he's played a lack of minutes. It is very much kind of B team for Leo. He does kind of fit the kind of going trend of your Jeffties, Barons, Iggemans, this kind of young player, and you wonder if that option to buy is, if he does turn out a bit of a gem, can he be like a Jeffty who you could maybe, if he does come in and hit the ground running, could he be the guy who's here for 3-4 years? But obviously, you can't get a wee try before you buy. So yeah, I think you're right. That cup game's probably you won't get him thrown in Sunday. You won't. But yeah, I do agree though. The quicker we can get him in, the better. But yes, best Fernandez in the world. You've heard it.
Yeah, I just say I would love for him just to get thrown in and we get on with it, because as Ali mentioned, we are in desperate need of resources and in the centre half position. But knowing Clement, like I think I know Clement, I just don't see that happening. I really don't see it happening.
Why do we sign guys that
are injured? Don't know.
And need 4 or 5 weeks to acclimatise to Glasgow and
the
food here and everything. But why can't we bring a guy in? We're desperate for a centre half. Why can't we bring a guy in that's ready? Surely there's guys out there that are ready to go and play for us.
Well, on that, do you prefer this type of signing, or would you have preferred a stopgap for 6 months, like a more experienced, and just for a talking sake, like for Evans, because that was getting floated about? What would you have preferred?
I mean, I said in the podcast a couple of weeks ago, I think I said about it. I said, ideally, you want to look long term, and that's what Rangers want to look. Your Jeffties, your Iggemans, but where we're at right now, we need to look short term in that position. Mm-hmm. So I would have rather brought a guy in that was ready to go, that could have started against Fraserburgh, for instance, get himself adjusted and go on Sunday. That's the way I'd go. I don't see the point of bringing a guy in on loan that we're not going to see for, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 weeks down the line. I want a guy that comes in, he's ready to play in the first team. So, especially when we knew that the back line was as it is, it's not as if it's the midfield, for instance, where you can kind of go, right, well, we can kind of wait and drip feed them in. It's a position we're crying out for somebody to come and play. So it baffles me, but it doesn't baffle me because it's Rangers. So
yeah, I mean, I'm trying not to be Rangers that. Honestly, I'm really trying my hardest. But see, even Fernandez coming out at half time against Fraserburgh, I was like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like,
all right, welcome as well.
Welcome to Ibrox. He's probably on a crutch, mate. For he probably was. But I just one of those. It was one of those things where I'm like, it's not really a glamour signing. Fair enough, welcome to Rangers and all that, but I just found it slightly odd. Ross, what's your thoughts? Should Rangers have looked at a stopgap more along the lines of, as I say, somebody more experienced centre half that could have come in for the next 5 months and played straight away? As I say, it is bizarre that we're signing players that are going to take a certain amount of time to settle in. It also is a signing that I'm trying my hardest again not to be too negative on the lad, because I don't know anything about him. I've not seen him play. He could be superb, and I really hope I hope that he's amazing. But as Ali just mentioned, we've not needed a centre back for quite a bit of time, and we went and signed a guy that hasn't really played very much football and is really untested. Really, he is untested. He's not had a substantial amount of games to really make a great point about him. It may be a bit of a punt, but what would you have rathered? The Fernandez signing, or like Evans? I'm not saying Evans, but like an Evans.
Yeah, I think Ali makes a great point that we are in desperate need. We are needing players to play. If we were hypothetically, and sorry to bring the tone down, if we were top of the league, I'd maybe bringing in a Fernandez. See, just now we're chasing a cup ultimately, and we're chasing the Europa League. So in this case, we do probably need players to come in and play now, which is why maybe Evans would have made a bit more sense. But it is very much I do hope that he turns out to be somebody who fills in well. If he does what an Inciala does, and there's a young lad who's shown that he can slot in straight away, but I hope that it is maybe a different approach from Clement. That yes, he said it took a while for Igaman, it did, and look what it's turned out. He gave time for Inciala. See if you just try them in from the start. We've had a few players where yes, they've had a few weeks. Could this be the guy who we start? As soon as he's right in the door, as soon as his work permit's ready, and then kind of go from there. But we do need people in soon, and I spot on with Ali. We need players now. We don't have time. We don't have the resources to wait about and see if he is the finisher. To even see if he's if he can fit in. So yeah, I mean, again, as you say, we don't want to write the boy off, but I do get the argument for both sides of it. But yeah. Well, I don't think we won't be available for Thursday, will he? I doubt he'll be.
I don't think so. No, it can't. It can't be. No.
Yeah. So, we'll need to wait and see who starts. Because I had a wee look at Inciala. I don't think is on the Europa League website for Rangers. So, yeah, we'll figure that out when we come to teams. I'll worry about that in a wee bit. But yeah, we'll see what happens with Fernandez.
Somebody will correct us in the comments anyway, mate, if we're wrong. That tends to be what happens when we're wrong, and we're wrong quite a lot, let's be honest about it. It's, as I say, I thought there was quite a bit of hype made around the signing, and I was going, there's nothing really to back up that hype. And I'm trying my hardest not to be negative. I want the guy to be an unmitigated success. I really do. I want him to be fantastic, the best centre-half we've ever signed. But I thought we're making a big deal out of a guy that we know nothing about, a guy that there's not even a backlog that you can really go and check him out. But a bit bizarre, maybe slightly underwhelming. But look, his name's Fernandez. He's Portuguese. He's got to be good, doesn't he? He just has to be. He's got to be a good player. Look, I hope we see him sooner rather than later. I really do, because we are in dire need of some bolstering in the centre half position. A few linked out the way, Ali. Lawrence has been linked by the guru that is Fabrizio Romano. He's been linked with Besiktas because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has just took over there. I would buy his plane ticket if Besiktas want to take Lawrence and say thank you very much, Mr. Lawrence. It's been nice. Goodbye.
Yeah, it's a shame for Lawrence. He's get hit with the curse of Rangers when it comes to injuries, because as I've said in this podcast, he wasn't injured before he came to Rangers in his career.
Yeah, maybe that's why we've signed Fernandez, because he thought he's already got an injury record. So maybe that's the whole thing about it. Maybe that's the thing behind it. Maybe
exactly.
It is. Yeah, we'll sign injured players so they don't get the curse.
Yeah, with Lawrence, Rangers won't be. They'll be easy to deal with Lawrence.
Yeah.
If Besiktas went in, he's actually still injured at the moment, Lawrence. But if Besiktas want to come in and take him down, I think Rangers will just let him go, and they can pay his wages to the end of the season. I'm sure they'll do that. Rangers won't. His contract's up at the end of the season as well, so Rangers won't be renewing Tom Lawrence's contract. I'd assume he's on a reasonable wage at Ibrox. Like I say, it's just been unfortunate. I thought he'd be a good sign for Rangers, but when he get injured, he's just not recovered from it, can he? And it's a shame for the boy, because I really did think he would be a player for Rangers, but he'll probably go to Besiktas and tear it up there, no doubt, as players do leave Rangers.
Yeah, he'll have one of the best careers ever known to a player moving from Rangers to Turkey. He'll be, of course, he will. He'll be massive. He'll be huge.
I seen John Lundstrom scored for Trabzonspor.
Oh, did he? I didn't think he was getting a game. Is Barisic still not getting a game?
Barisic come on as a substitute for them, but
yeah, I didn't think he was. I don't think he was starting. Barisic, last time I checked anyway, he wasn't starting. So, well. Sign Looney. I'm kidding. Rangers don't sign John Lundstrom. I'm only joking. Ross, Igaman's been linked with Marseille. Look, we all know Igaman's the man of the moment just now. He's the one that we're all very excited about. We're all, I think, realistic enough to know that if he continues on this upward curve that he's on, he won't be here very long. Someone will come and make a ridiculous offer. What is a ridiculous offer for you right now, out of curiosity? Obviously, I don't think he's going to go anywhere. For anybody that comes in and tries to test the water with like 8 or 10 million, I think Rangers will head their bets on this guy continuing to improve, because it looks like it's going to happen that way. But what would be the ridiculous offer if Marseille came in with for a man for you to say, deal, done deal?
I reckon if Marseille said 15, I reckon Rangers would take it. 15 million, I reckon, would be probably fair. Look, it was coming. It was always going to come with Agaman, and it's the one thing that, see if he kicked on in February, brilliant. If he was kind of quiet in January, superb. But yeah, it's just it's unfortunate. I guess when you have a player like that and everybody wants him, but it means that he's doing things right for Glasgow Rangers. So at the end of the day, we've got to be happy from that point of view. But yeah, he seems his spot's pretty secure at Rangers just now. He doesn't seem to be going anywhere. So if I was Agaman, would that move excite me? I don't know. Obviously the bright lights of Europa League for Agaman, I'd imagine, would probably be a bit of a motivator at Rangers, especially when it looks like could we get into the latter stages. So I do think Agaman will be here for January. I do, obviously, if the money's there. If 25 million came in, yes, it's a no-brainer. But for now, I reckon he's with us. But now that I've said that, you know exactly what's going to happen. So apologies, lads.
It's difficult, Ali, to put a price tag on him just now, because it is very much new to the scene. There's no real obviously we've seen the kind of progression that he has made. I, for one, don't want him to go, because I think it would be a real sucker blow for the support more than anything else. We would be like, oh, we've just got our hands on a striker that we're all really excited to watch, etc. And that's kind of disrespectful to Dessers, considering he scored a hat-trick at the weekend. But we all know the situation with Mr. Dessers. Not here to discuss him this evening. But Wigan, it is tough. Obviously, Ali, we hate Marseille. Both you and I hate Marseille. Ross probably far too young to understand why, but we don't like them, and we will never like Marseille because they're cheats. But what is a ridiculous offer for, like, Ross is probably right, see 15 million. I can't see Rangers saying no to something like that for Igaman. I really can't, considering what he was brought in for, etc. I think Rangers there would be looks across the table at each other and be like, I think we're probably going to need to take this, especially if you're getting 3/4 of that up front, maybe. But 15, 20 million? I mean, I know you are just plucking numbers out the sky, because it's difficult to put a price tag on them. Well, what would you say would be the turning point for Rangers to go, yeah, okay, you can have him?
It's difficult to put a figure on the boy, because he just burst into the team, but he's shown it against Tottenham. If he shows it against Man United on Thursday night, Carney, there will be people coming in for him. That's a danger. It's a good danger. Yeah. We've been burnt before with Morelos. Morelos' stock was high. We didn't sell him. We should have sold him. It's a difficult one, because we are not cash rich as a football club, so we can't turn down offers. Every player's for sale. I agree. If somebody came in with Ross's figure of about 15 million, I think Rangers would come to the table there. I really think they would. And it's happened before, Carney. I remember years ago, Ross is probably too young for this one, but Jean-Alain Boumsong, who came into Rangers, tore it up and was sold in January to Graham Souness's Newcastle.
That was all planned, though. That was a very strange.
But Rangers got Boumsong on a free and sold him for £8-9 million, whatever it was back in the day.
That's one of the ones that we shouldn't really talk about, because I don't think that was completely legit, that one.
Yeah. But it's a similar situation in terms of a time period, in terms of a player coming in the summer and going in the January. But ultimately, he's for sale. I'd love to see Igaman stay here this season and next season and then go. That's what I would love, to have a full season with him properly here, and hopefully win a league title next season with him. I think we need to build a team around him, but as we say, every player is for sale. The whole point of bringing these guys in is that the player trade model that we've not done. Bring these guys in, let them hit the heights and be seen in Europe. And these big teams will come in and take them, because 15-20 million to teams in England and Europe is nothing. It's big money for us, but it's nothing for them to take a punt on players. So Yeah, if he goes the way he's going, somebody will come in. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody came in last day of January with a wee cheeky bid to see what we were up to.
Yeah, to see whether we would deal or not. Yeah, no, I know. I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't go. I hope at least we get another season out of him. Another full season out of him would be brilliant, because I think he is going to go from strength to strength, and I think as long as he stays clear of the injury curse that surrounds Ibrox, then hopefully you're just adding to his value, and by the time next summer comes around, then you could be looking at a pretty healthy bid for him. Finish up with one coming in, obviously, as well. Lowry has been linked with a permanent move to Wycombe Wanderers. That's the other one that's been about. Again, no really need for me to go to the guys. We all got the same opinion here. It just never happened for him. I think there was real talent there at one point. I think the loan move out to Hearts worked initially, and then it fell away again, and since he's come back, he's not even had a sniff. It really hasn't. I think there's other issues there with Lowry, don't get me wrong, but it's not one that I think has worked, and it looks like he will be on his way to Wycombe Wanderers. So wish him nothing but the best. Generally, he's got something to aim for. Go down and make a name for yourself there, get a fresh start, clean slate, use the quality that's probably there, focus down and kind of get on with it, and wish him nothing but the best anyway. And last one rumoured to be coming in, since we're only going to be signing centre halves, is Nico Katic. The Swiss media are linking him with Rangers. Would you take big I'll head anything Nico Katic back at Rangers?
I mean, he fits the profile of a guy that we need at the moment, to be fair. He was good at us. I mean, he got that really bad injury at Rangers.
No, a player get injured at Rangers?
No,
surely not.
Wait, just Katic now. Is he 26 or something? 27?
He'll be about 28, I think, maybe.
Is he? If he was on a free, I'd take him back, even as a backup centre half for next season, whatever. Because Balogun will probably move on, you would think. So, yeah, he fits the profile for me. Big aggressive player that we don't have at the back. So, if he's available for a free on little money, yeah, I'd take him.
He's 30 next year.
Is he 30 next year? God, Christ.
30 next year, yeah.
But he'd be an ideal replacement for Balogun.
29 this year, so he's 28. I was right, he's 28.
Yeah, and he's played in Scotland. He knows what it's all about here as well. So he ticks the boxes. As I say, Balogun, I think will go in the summer. So he'd probably be a good backup for Rangers in terms of Balogun.
Yeah. Ross, for you, Nico Katic?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he's. I don't think we can be picky with who we're getting in just now. It is very much let's see who we can get. And if Katic is flying about, don't worry. I'm not saying he's the answer to all our prayers, but you're never going to get that in January. So I do reckon out of the names that have been out there, I'd take a Katic over an Evans. With all due respect to Evans, I think I'd get him in. So yeah, Nico Katic, you can score a goal at Parkhead. So Nico Katic, welcome back, sir. Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think it was. I loved him. I loved the big guy. I did. I thought he was tremendous. I think all the fans really liked him. Not the most talented centre half you're ever going to see, but a guy that will give you an aerial presence. There's absolutely no doubt that he will, because he was very. That's my ball, and I'm going to put my head on it. That's kind of the way that he done things. So interesting to see if there's anything in that. As I say, I think he would come back in a heartbeat. I don't think he would need much convincing to join Rangers. So or to rejoin Rangers. So we'll see what if there's anything in that. Might just be paper talk. There might be absolutely nothing in it. But we'll wait and see. So we'll move on now to the preview of the Manchester United game in the Europa League, the penultimate game of this phase, isn't it? Yeah, second last one. So yeah, we travel to Old Trafford on Thursday to take on Man United in which is, I mean, it's a glamour tie. It really is. I know Man United. I like to say Man United have their troubles is a bit of an understatement. I think they are a very much an underachieving club right now, a bit of a basket case of a club currently sitting 13th in the Premier League, which is pretty much unheard of really for a Man United team. But they are sitting at 7th in the group stage of the Europa League. They have one more point than us. What's your thoughts going into this? My honest opinion, mate, is there could be worse times to play Man United.
There could be worse times to play. I know they get beat off Brighton 3-1 at Old Trafford. Brighton's a good team though, but Yeah, there could be worse times to play Man United, but they're littered with talent.
Talent.
They've spent. I think somebody said they spent about £1 billion or something in the past. I don't know, 10 years or something like 100
10 years,
million each season or something.
past 10 years. Yeah,
yeah.
past 10 years.
Yeah, I mean,
£1 billion.
I know, and
£1 billion.
We're scraping about in a barrel looking for stuff, but
Looking for trying to re-sign Nico Katic.
That's what we're at. But I mean, I remember when we went to Murrayfield in the friendly against Man United, and Man United fielded their C and D team against us and comfortably swept us aside. And I know it's a friendly and it's hard to read into back then, but they dealt with us easily that game.
And we were god awful that day.
We were rotten. We were absolutely rotten. But the way I look at it is we're sitting in a very good... Where we're sitting right now, I didn't think we'd be sitting there. The way the teams we had to play. So we're sitting in a very good position in this Europa League. Rangers are a different team in the Europa League. They are. They've proved it this season, going away to Nice, winning 4-1, drawn with Tottenham, unlucky not to beat Tottenham. So Man United won't look at us as a pushover. I don't think they'll overlook us at all and what we've done in Europe in past seasons as well. So it is a bit of a free hit for Rangers going down there. I hope Rangers go down there with confidence and take the game to Man United and play the way we do play in Europe. I don't want Rangers to go down there and try and shut up shop, maybe play for a draw. But I don't see Clermont doing that. I think we play our own game and see where it takes us, because we've got a really good chance of finishing that top 8, which would ultimately take us into the last 16, which we're talking about money here. It creates more money for Rangers getting the last 16. So, yeah, it's a big chance for Rangers. It could be anything. We could go down there and Man United could batter us 3-0 or something, or we could go down and nick a result. You just don't know with Rangers. But it's Thursday nights, it's Europa League, and that's where Rangers come alive.
Mate, yeah, I'm ready. Right, can we go now? That's it. You've done the battle chat there, mate. Yes. Look, I 100% get it. Look, let's not be naive about stuff. If Man United click, we're in for a long night. We're in for a very long night because they have quality. There's no doubt that they do it, and they are a basket case of a club. They could turn up on Thursday. It's looking like it's all they're really going to go on is the Europa League this season, so they'll be putting all their eggs in one basket as well. I think it's a very intriguing tie, obviously due to the size of the both clubs as well involved, yes, but it is a very intriguing tie just based on our tendency to be pretty damn good on a Thursday night in the Europa League and Man United's awful run of form right now, the way that they currently are. Ross, games don't really come much bigger. A trip to Old Trafford for a European night, they really don't come much bigger than that. I know there's plenty of bells going down there. I think there's fan zones and everything being set up as well. So there'll be plenty going down. Maybe not as much as a previous trip to Manchester that we all had. Maybe not as many as that, but there is a substantial amount of people going down. But it's kind of what it's all about. And as we've just said, mate, who knows? Because Man United haven't been great this season. It's a bit of a free hit for Rangers. Rangers should be feeling like we can cause Man United trouble. We have to be clever with the ball. We have to not give it away needlessly in stupid areas. Be tight at the back. All the usual stuff you need to be in Europe, but we tend to do it.
We tend to do it. Listen, when we went to Dortmund, did anyone back us? No. There's little people who, with a realistic head on, will probably back us on Thursday night. But listen, anything can happen. Anything can happen. It's Man U this season have, again, fantasy football players will be very frustrated because Man U just do not deliver. Although a certain Amad Diallo is rather brilliant. Yeah. So cheers, Amad. Good, yeah, he's not bad. He's not bad. So yeah,
Rangers made him. Rangers made him, by the way, just so everybody knows that. Rangers made him. For all the Man U fans tuning in, it was Rangers that made him as good as he is.
Dingwall away is how you start a career. Ronaldo started at Dingwall away. Haaland will be up here in a few years, but it's. Although, yes, they lost, 3-1 to Brighton at the weekend, they have also, it was a few weeks ago, they drew at Liverpool, they beat Arsenal, put them out the cup, so they are no mugs. I think I was reading today as well, even like your players who are not even in the talking points for Man U, like a Marcus Rashford, he's nowhere to be seen, but yet, apparently he might be coming back in, so the talent, it's the same conversation we had with Tottenham, that the talent is out of this world, but you never know. My one concern is, lads, and I didn't realise this, is that Diamande's out for the game after a yellow card. So I mean, you saw a few weeks ago against Aberdeen that it has a swivel on the ball, and you see how quickly it turns away. Maybe having Raskin and Barron there, who are maybe a bit more, I don't know, maybe composed on the ball. Maybe, I mean, it's saying not to away from Diamande because he can turn in a sixpence, but I don't know. It'll be very interesting. Obviously, the ideal scenario is having Raskin there by himself because the boy can dictate that all day, all day. But yeah, it's an absolute glamour time. I'm buzzing for it. I'm the same boat as you. I could literally kick off was in 10 minutes. I'd wish nothing more. But yeah, it feels wrong to say it. I'm feeling confident, boys. I'm feeling confident.
I think there's a certain element of that being true, mate, in terms of feeling confident because, as Ali mentioned, that's a bit of a free hit for Rangers. There's not really much pressure on us. If we go down there, do the business and manage to get a win, then everybody will be talking about how good a win it is for Rangers. If Man United win, and fair enough, as long as it's not a Liverpool situation that we had, if Man United win that game 3-1, 2-1, whatever it may be, then most people won't bat an eyelid at it because they'll be like, well, yeah, obviously, because the money in England's just bonkers. It really is. But I'm the same. I'm looking forward to it. You don't know what can happen. You really don't. And you're right that Dortmund game, that's probably probably the most amazing nights we've ever had in the group chat back then, because it was just voice note of everyone going, "What is going on?" What it was a great night because we all decided we were just going to watch it in the houses and that. None of us decided to meet up to watch it, so just because we didn't think much of it. And how wrong were we? How wrong were we? So look, anything can happen. I'm looking forward to it as well. How can you not look forward to a game of this size? So and a win for Rangers would pretty much guarantee us qualification into the last 16. Is that right? The way it works, yeah, the last 16. So yeah, very much looking forward to it. On that, lads, we'll finish with our team predictions and our scores. I would imagine we're going to be pretty similar due to suspensions and people that aren't included in the European squad, which really seems like a bright idea now, really, by Mr. Clement, doesn't it, when you look at it? So, Ali, do you want Ross to go first?
I'll bang my team out. I'd be surprised if we've not got the same team. I feel for Hadji. Hadji should be playing in this game for me.
Yep.
Obviously, if we get through the last 32 or last 16, he can come back in. But Butland, is he available? I did hear he was back in training.
He's in training.
I would imagine he'll play.
I think he'll play. So Butland for me, a back four at Tav, Balogun, proper. I can't wait to see him, guys. And Jeffy, Raskin, Barron, Barani, Cherny on the right. I think Yilmaz will play as he did at Tottenham on the left, and Igaman up front. And I'm going to go, I think we'll score there. 2-2.
A Desmond, mate. I had the same, mate. I had a Desmond.
Cherny to score first.
Yeah, I was the same. I had 2 in my head. I think your starting 11 is what I went for. The only other option I see for him is, and don't at me, is Cyril Dessers and Igaman up front. That's the only other option that I think he has. I don't think he's got another one. I, for one, I want to see Dessers. I don't know. And the guy's just off the back of a hat trick, mate. Do you know what I mean? And Balogun's been out in an interview as well, and it was the Counter Attack podcast, about how he's kind of Balogun's kind of back Dessers, and in terms of the criticism and that he's got, it's kind of, he feels it's a wee bit not unfair, but it's the way that Dessers has handled it. He's gave him real credit for it. So maybe the guy's in a good space. I don't know, because Cyril Dessers is one of those guys that maybe he'll show up, maybe he'll be the good Dessers, but so often he's the bad Dessers. So whether that's a game for him, I don't know. But that's the only difference that I can see in the team. And I'm ashamed I'll go for a Desmond. Ross, what's your team and score prediction, please?
It's a full house for teams. I think you're spot on with the team. Yeah, it's. I did think. Do you have the two up top? Obviously, probably more Igaman off the left, but I think we saw how it worked with Yilmaz against Tottenham. You need to do it again. You have to do it again. So if there's any chance of coming away with a result, I'm going 2-1 Rangers. I'm going to go 2-1 Rangers with Igaman first goal. I don't know. It's just there's. I'm getting I feel with this game. Obviously, I remember the very naive me predicted a 7-0 against Tottenham. but I'm feeling rather level-headed for Thursday, and I do genuinely think that there's, I don't know, there's something in there, lads. I hope it's a 2-1 win with an Igaman first goal.
Yeah, I'll take it, mate. I'll take it. I think it's an exciting tie, something to really look forward to. And it's domestically, we've not often said that, but this is, we know what the Rangers can be like on a Thursday in the Europa League. So a trip to Old Trafford, is always going to get the juices flowing, I suppose. That will do us for tonight. We will be back on Thursday with a reaction pod, win, lose or draw. For tonight, Alistair, thank you very much.
No problem. Looking forward to the game on Thursday night. Europa League is a sideshow for me this season, but it's a good sideshow because Rangers usually turn up in it. Just lay it all out in the park, Rangers. Just get down there and give your all. If Man United turn up, if all our players turn up, Man United should win. But if we can give a good account of ourselves, like we did against Tottenham, I mean, that English press think we're a Diddy League up here, and I think we've shown against Tottenham. I don't think they thought we could do that against Tottenham. So if we can put as good a performance in against Man United and show them down there, that up in Scotland, we are a good footballing team at times up here. And we've shown by going to the Europa League final 2 seasons ago that we can do it. So get down there, lay it all, and I hope all the Bears down there have a very good party.
Here, mate. I echo every single word. Ross, thank you very much, mate.
Thank you, Jits. Thank you. Yeah, I'm rather jealous of all the Bears down there. I'm sure it will be absolute chaos, but I cannot wait to see the photos. We know what the travelling Rangers support's like, and a place like Old Trafford, there's no better place to be, I can imagine, a European night. So all the best to everybody going down. Absolutely buzzing for it. As I say, I'm hopeful. I don't know why I'm hopeful, but I'm hopeful. So I'm gonna stick with that. And yeah, just come on, Rangers, come on.
Yeah, come on, indeed. Yeah, mate, very much looking forward to it myself. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, all the usual stuff. As I say, we will be back on Thursday with a reaction to, hopefully, another famous victory for Rangers in the Europa League. We are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Cheers, everybody.